Today we will dive into the incredible story of Jackie Chan, a man who turned challenges into triumphs and dreams into reality. From his childhood in Hong Kong to becoming a global superstar, Jackie's journey is full of courage, laughter, and lessons for life. Along the way, we will see how learning, persistence, and a positive attitude can help us overcome obstacles and achieve our goals. His story is also a great way to practice English, as it is filled with inspiring words and simple lessons that anyone can understand. Let's begin. Jackie Chan was born in Hong Kong in 1954, in a small house near Victoria Peak. His parents, Charles and Lily Chan, were poor but hard-working, employed as servants of the French ambassador. From the beginning, Jackie's life was full of motion and challenge. He was an energetic, curious child who never liked sitting still. His mother often said that he started kicking even before he was born, a little fighter ready for action. When Jackie was 7, his parents decided to move to Australia to find better work. They left him in Hong Kong and enrolled him in the China Drama Academy, a strict school for traditional Chinese opera. It was run by Master Yu Jimyuan, a man known for turning children into world-class performers. The training was brutal. Students woke up before sunrise, practiced acrobatics, martial arts, singing and acting all day long, and were punished for the smallest mistakes. Jackie remembered that every day felt like a test of endurance. But under that pressure, something powerful began to grow: discipline, strength, and creativity. In the academy, Jackie learned to control every part of his body. He could flip, roll, and balance on one hand. He could fight with swords or fan props and move his body like water. But he also learned teamwork. He became part of a performance group called the Seven Little Fortunes, alongside other children who would later become famous in Hong Kong cinema, like Sammo Hung and Yuen Biao. They were brothers in training, always pushing each other to be better. Despite the pain, Jackie began to love performing. When he was on stage, he felt alive. The applause of the audience was a sound that erased every bruise and cut. Yet, deep down, he dreamed of something more, to be seen not only in Hong Kong but across the world. When he was around 17, Jackie started working as a stuntman in Hong Kong films. The pay was low, and the work was dangerous. He often performed high falls and risky fight scenes that others refused to do. Once, he was thrown through a window. Another time, he jumped from a rooftop and landed on a moving bus. But he kept smiling, learning from every stunt. Jackie worked on several Bruce Lee films, including Fist of Fury and Enter the Dragon. He was amazed by Bruce's power, confidence, and charisma. But he also realized that his own path had to be different. I can't be Bruce Lee, he thought. He is a hero. I am a clown who fights. That realization became the foundation of his unique style, a combination of martial arts, comedy, and heart. He would fight with everyday objects, ladders, chairs, brooms, or even a refrigerator. He turned pain into humor and danger into art. During this time, Jackie began teaching himself English. He listened to American songs, repeated movie lines, and practiced with anyone willing to talk to him. His pronunciation was awkward, but he didn't care. Every new word was like learning a new kick or punch. It gave him power, connection, and confidence. Language, he often said later, is like kung fu. You have to keep practicing until it becomes part of you. Jackie's hard work started to pay off. He got small roles in local movies, then slightly bigger ones. His stunts grew more creative, and his name began to circulate in Hong Kong's film world. But success was still far away. The road to becoming a star would take many years of falls, failures, and persistence. Still, even then, Jackie had something that made him unstoppable: joy. He loved the work, loved the danger, loved making people laugh. His journey had only just begun, but already his attitude, brave, funny, and endlessly curious, was shaping him into the legend he would become by the late 1970s. Jackie Chan had become one of Hong Kong's most daring stuntmen. He could leap from buildings, crash through glass, and fight with the grace of a dancer. But even though his physical skill impressed everyone, he struggled to find his identity as an actor. He didn't want to copy Bruce Lee, whose serious, powerful image dominated the martial arts world. Jackie wanted to make people laugh while they gasped, to show that action could also be joyful. His chance came with a movie called Snake in the Eagle's Shadow in 1978. For the first time, he was allowed to be himself. Funny, clumsy, yet brave. The movie was a hit. Audiences loved this new kind of hero. Not perfect, not angry, but human. Then came Drunken Master, a story about a mischievous young man who learns kung fu in a very unusual way, through drunken-style fighting. Jackie's mix of comedy, timing, and incredible movement made the film explode in popularity. Suddenly, he wasn't just another stuntman. He was a star. But fame brought new challenges. Jackie was ambitious, and he wanted to go beyond Hong Kong. Hollywood seemed like the next mountain to climb. In 1980, he went to the United States to film The Big Brawl and later appeared in The Cannonball Run. But things didn't go as planned. American directors didn't understand his style. They wanted him to fight like Bruce Lee, fast and angry, not playful and creative. Jackie felt out of place, frustrated by his weak English and by the way others tried to change him. They didn't know me, he said. They didn't see my soul. So he returned to Hong Kong, where he had control over his films. There, he created movies that showed his full personality. Project A, Police Story, Armor of God. These films were full of breathtaking stunts that no one else dared to try. In Police Story, he slid down a pole covered in lights from the top of a shopping mall. The lights exploded, sparks flew, and Jackie landed hard on the ground, nearly breaking his back. Yet, after a few seconds, he stood up and finished the scene. He wanted it to look real because, to him, movies were about truth through action. Jackie's crew often worried about his safety, but he always said the same thing. If I don't risk it, the audience won't believe it. His injuries were countless. Broken ankles, cracked ribs, dislocated shoulders, even a skull fracture. But he kept smiling. Pain is temporary, he'd joke, but film is forever. During this time, Jackie continued improving his English. He worked with teachers and practiced with fans. He wanted to speak directly to international audiences, to tell his own story without translators. If I want people to understand me, he said, I must learn their language. His progress was slow, but his persistence turned learning into another kind of adventure. By the early 1990s, Jackie had become a hero across Asia. His movies were known for humor, heart, and unbelievable stunts. Children tried to imitate his moves, and adults admired his courage. But he still dreamed of success in America. He wanted to show the world that an Asian actor could be more than a sidekick, that action and laughter had no borders. And soon, that dream would come true in a way even Jackie hadn't imagined. In 1995, Jackie Chan decided to take another shot at Hollywood. This time, he was ready. He had matured as an actor, grown more confident in English, and built a global fan base. But most importantly, he had learned to believe in his own style. He didn't need to imitate anyone. He just had to be Jackie Chan. That year, he released Rumble in the Bronx, a Hong Kong film set in New York. The movie was packed with incredible stunts, rooftop chases, motorcycle jumps, and Jackie's trademark improvisation with random objects. The English dialogue was sometimes awkward, but audiences didn't care. They loved the energy, the humor, and Jackie's unstoppable charisma. When the film was released in the United States, it became a surprise hit. For the first time, American audiences saw a hero who wasn't about muscles or guns, but about cleverness, speed, and heart. Hollywood finally took notice. Studios realized that Jackie wasn't just an action star. He was a bridge between cultures. He could make people from any country laugh because his comedy didn't depend on language. It depended on expression, timing, and soul. His movement spoke louder than words. Then came 1998, the year that changed everything. Jackie was offered a role in Rush Hour, a buddy cop movie pairing him with the fast-talking American comedian Chris Tucker. The idea was simple. Two cops from different worlds must work together to solve a kidnapping case. Jackie hesitated at first. He was worried the film would make fun of his accent or his background. But when he met Tucker, their chemistry was instant. Tucker's rapid-fire jokes mixed perfectly with Jackie's calm, physical comedy. Rush Hour exploded at the box office. Audiences everywhere loved the duo's unlikely friendship. Jackie's English had improved so much that he could deliver lines naturally, often adding his own humor. "I don't understand you," Tucker would shout, and Jackie would reply, "I don't understand you either," a line that made people laugh not just because it was funny, but because it was true. They didn't understand each other's languages, but they understood friendship. For Jackie, Rush Hour was more than a movie. It was proof that learning English and staying true to himself had been worth it. He had crossed cultural boundaries without losing his identity. Children around the world watched him and thought, if Jackie can do it, maybe I can too. After Rush Hour, Jackie's Hollywood career took off. Sequels followed, along with movies like Shanghai Noon and The Tuxedo. He worked harder than ever, juggling filming schedules between America and Asia. Yet, he never forgot his roots. Whenever he returned to Hong Kong, he visited his old stunt team and trained with them. Without them, he said, there's no Jackie Chan. But fame also brought loneliness. Jackie missed his family, especially his parents, who were aging in Australia. He often felt guilty for being far away, chasing success while they grew older. To cope, he poured his emotions into his work. Each movie became a message of love, of effort, of never giving up. Even with global success, Jackie remained humble. He often told young fans, "Don't try my stunts. Try my attitude." For him, courage wasn't about jumping off buildings. It was about getting back up after failure, about learning, improving, and helping others. Jackie Chan had become not just a movie star, but a symbol of perseverance. His broken bones, his laughter, his imperfect English, all of it told one simple story. You can fall 100 times, but if you rise again, you win. After Rush Hour, Jackie Chan was suddenly one of the most recognizable faces in the world. Everywhere he went, people shouted his name, asked for autographs, or begged him to do a backflip. He laughed and smiled. But behind that smile was a man who understood that fame came with responsibility. "People watch me," he said, "so I must show them how to live with heart." He began using his platform to inspire others, especially young people who struggle with confidence or fear. Jackie spoke openly about his early hardships, the strict school, the long days of training, the years of rejection. "Success is not a gift," he said in interviews. "It's a fight." He encouraged students to study English, not just for careers, but to connect with the world. If you learn a language, you learn a culture. You learn people. You make friends. In the early 2000s, Jackie balanced two worlds, Hollywood's bright lights and Hong Kong's busy studios. He continued to make action comedies, but he also began exploring more emotional roles, like in the Karate Kid remake, 2010, and The Foreigner, 2017. In these films, Jackie showed a deeper side, not just a funny fighter, but a man carrying wisdom, pain, and dignity. Critics who once dismissed him as just a stuntman began to see his depth as an actor. But while his movie career thrived, Jackie never stopped being a teacher. He founded the Jackie Chan stunt team to train young performers safely and skillfully. He built schools, supported charities, and donated millions to help victims of disasters. "The world gave me everything," he said, Now I must give something back. His English continued to improve, though he always kept his distinctive accent. My accent is my history, he joked. If I lose it, I lose part of who I am. He gave motivational speeches in English around the world, mixing humor with lessons about discipline and kindness. Students loved how honest he was. He often admitted that he still made mistakes in English, but, he said, mistakes mean you are trying. The only real mistake is silence. Jackie often told the story of his most dangerous stunts, like the time he fell from a tree while filming Armor God and fractured his skull. The doctors said he was lucky to be alive. When fans asked why he kept doing such dangerous scenes, he always smiled. Because when I fall, I get up. When I get up, people believe they can too. As he grew older, Jackie began to think more deeply about legacy. He didn't want to be remembered only for action. He wanted to be remembered for spirit. Movies fade, he said, but kindness stays. He urged his fans to work hard, stay humble, and never stop learning. Despite his global fame, Jackie remained the same curious boy from Hong Kong who once repeated English words to himself in the street. He continued studying new languages, instruments, and even technology. Learning, he said, is how I stay young. Even now, Jackie keeps his daily routine. Early mornings, exercise, and endless practice. He often jokes that he's been making action films for 50 years and still hasn't found an easier way to fall. But he wouldn't have it any other way. If I stop moving, he laughs, I stop being Jackie. Jackie's story, from a poor student in Hong Kong to an international legend, became more than a tale of fame. It became a lesson in resilience. He showed that language barriers can be broken with effort, and that laughter is a universal bridge. For millions learning English, Jackie Chan wasn't just an actor. He was a motivation to speak, to move, to dream. That be why the time Jackie Chan reached his 60s, he had done more than 150 movies, broken almost every bone in his body, and inspired millions of people across the planet. Yet he still didn't think of himself as a superstar. I'm just a filmmaker who loves to make people happy, he often said. To him, fame was never the goal. Improvement was. Every new project was another opportunity to learn, to challenge himself, and to show that no dream was too big for hard work. Jackie's story continued to inspire students learning English. He often visited schools around the world, telling them that learning a language was like training for a movie fight. You fall, you fail, and you keep going. When I first tried English, he'd say, I was terrible. I couldn't even order food. But I never stopped. Every day I learned one new word. One word became 10. 10 became 100. One day I looked back and I could speak. He told students that confidence didn't come from being perfect. It came from trying again after every mistake. People laughed at my English, he said, but I laugh with them. If you can laugh at your mistakes, they stop hurting. This attitude made him a role model, not only for actors, but for anyone chasing self-improvement. In interviews, Jackie often shared a philosophy of motivation. Discipline builds freedom. If you train every day, your body becomes free to do anything. Learning never ends. The world changes fast. If you stop learning, you fall behind. Kindness is strength. If you are strong but not kind, you are weak. These lessons came from experience. Jackie's career had been full of both glory and pain. He had faced criticism, injuries, cultural misunderstandings, and even moments of doubt. Yet every obstacle became a stepping stone. Life is like a movie set, he explained. Sometimes the scene fails. You don't cry. You set it up again and try one more time. Even after global success, Jackie stayed loyal to his Hong Kong roots. He continued making Chinese language films and promoting Chinese culture worldwide. In doing so, he became a cultural ambassador, a man who connected East and West not through speeches or politics, but through art, movement, and laughter. As he aged, Jackie began to take on roles that reflected his years of experience. In The Foreigner, he played a father who had lost everything, showing a quiet pain beneath his usual energy. Critics were surprised by his emotional depth. "For 50 years I fight and jump," Jackie said, "but the hardest thing is to be still." His growth as an actor mirrored his growth as a man, deeper, wiser, and more reflective. Off-screen, Jackie continued his humanitarian work. Through the Jackie Chan Charitable Foundation, he funded scholarships, disaster relief, and hospitals. He visited orphanages, bringing toys and laughed at children. "Money," he said, "is only valuable when it helps someone else." Jackie's motivational message reached far beyond movies. He taught that learning English or anything new wasn't just about skills, but about building courage. "When you learn," he told fans, "you open doors. When you stop, you build walls." He remained active, energetic, and endlessly curious. Even in his 60s, he could still do a backflip, though he admitted with a laugh that he preferred not to. "Now I use my brain more than my body," he joked. But his eyes still sparkled with the same fire that had driven the young boy from the opera school. For millions around the world, especially those learning English or chasing difficult goals, Jackie's life became a living proof that progress is made not by talent alone, but by persistence, humility, and Jackie Chan entered the later chapters of his life. He began reflecting more openly on what success really meant. "Success," he said in one interview, "is not about how high you climb, but how many people you pull up with you." He wanted his story to remind others that dreams are built with small, daily steps, not shortcuts. He often described his journey in simple English so that learners around the world could understand. "When I was young," he said, "I didn't know one English word. I listened, copied, and practiced. Every time I learned something new, I felt proud. That's why I say, don't be shy. Speak. Make mistakes. It's the only way to get better." Many English learners found comfort in his honesty. He never pretended to be perfect. In fact, his humor came from accepting imperfection. "My English not good, but my heart is good," he would joke, and the audience would cheer. His message was clear. Communication is not about grammar. It's about connection. Jackie used his own life as an example of cross-cultural success. "I learned English to understand people," he said. "When you understand, you stop fighting." His words carried weight because he had lived them, moving between East and West, between languages and expectations, while staying true to himself. As the years passed, Jackie began mentoring younger actors. He taught them the discipline of the old opera school, but also the creativity of modern filmmaking. He reminded them that acting wasn't just about fame or money. It was about storytelling. "Every punch must have meaning," he said. "Every jump must have heart." He shared stories of his hardest days, when he had no food, no fame, and no confidence. "Those days made me," he said. "If life is too easy, you don't grow." His voice carried wisdom that inspired not only actors, but also students, workers, and dreamers everywhere. Jackie's global influence continued to expand. He became a United Nations Goodwill Ambassador, speaking about peace, education, and compassion. He delivered speeches in English and Mandarin, often switching between the two languages mid-sentence. The audience loved it. It showed exactly who he was, a man of two worlds, proud of both. In 2016, Jackie Chan finally received an honorary Oscar for his lifetime contribution to cinema. When he stood on the stage, holding the golden statue, he looked emotional. After 56 years in the film industry, he said, "After more than 200 films, I finally got it." The audience gave him a standing ovation. But what touched people most was what he said next. "I still have many dreams. I still want to make more movies. I still want to learn more English. The crowd laughed and cheered. That moment captured everything about him: humility, humor, and endless curiosity. It wasn't the award that mattered. It was the fact that he was still learning. When asked how he stayed motivated after all these years, Jackie smiled and said, "Because I love what I do. If you love it, you never feel tired." He explained that every morning he still trained his body and practiced lines in English and Mandarin. "Learning keeps my mind sharp," he said. "And when you learn, you stay young." Even in his later years, Jackie continued performing. Maybe not as many flips or dangerous stunts, but with the same energy. "Now I use action to teach," he said, "to show that hard work never gets old." He encouraged young people to chase progress, not perfection. "Don't compare," he told them. "Just improve a little every day. Even if it's one English word, one new skill, one act of kindness, it's enough. Step by step, you become strong." Jackie Chan had become more than an actor. He was a teacher of persistence, laughter, and courage. His story proved that no matter where you start, whether in a strict opera school or struggle in new language, if you keep moving forward, the world opens up. In the years that followed his Oscar recognition, Jackie Chan continued to work tirelessly, even though many people told him to slow down. "Why should I stop?" he said with a grin. "As long as I can move, I can create." His energy became legendary. While others his age retired, Jackie kept making movies, mentoring, and speaking to young audiences across the world. He believed that motivation was like a flame. It needed care to stay alive. "If you don't feed the fire, it dies," he often said. For Jackie, the fuel was purpose. He didn't work for money or trophies anymore. He worked to make a difference. He began producing films that celebrated teamwork, respect, and self-belief, themes that had guided his own life. In his talks, Jackie often shared lessons about learning English. He reminded fans that English had changed his life. "Because I learned English," he said, "I could talk to people from everywhere. I could tell my story myself." He encouraged others not to fear mistakes or accents. "Your accent is your story. Don't hide it. Speak with pride." He also explained how language learning made him more patient and understanding. "When I learned English, I learned to listen," he said. "Listening is harder than fighting." It was his way of saying that communication was not about speed, but about empathy. For him, the true goal of language was connection, not perfection. Jackie often used his story as a mirror for others' dreams. He told students, "If you want to be strong, work hard. If you want to be smart, keep learning. If you want to be happy, help someone." He reminded them that success was not a straight line. "Sometimes," he said, "you fall to the ground. That's okay. Stay there, take a breath, and stand again. That's how heroes are made." Despite his global fame, Jackie always stayed connected to simple things: family, food, laughter. He cooked traditional Chinese dishes for friends, practiced calligraphy, and spent time with his team. He said that staying grounded was the secret to staying sane. "If you forget who you are," he said, "fame becomes a trap." His fans admired not only his movies, but his humanity. They saw a man who spoke several languages, traveled the world, and met presidents and kings, yet never lost the humility of the boy who once cleaned the floors of a training school. He often visited poor neighborhoods, bringing supplies and hope. "Because I know how it feels to have nothing," he explained. Jackie's love for learning never faded. He studied history, philosophy, and even new film technology. "Every day the world changes," he said. "If I stop learning, I stop understanding it." His message resonated with English learners everywhere. Learning was not about age or ability. It was about attitude. In his later movies, Jackie began portraying teachers, fathers, and mentors, roles that reflected who he had become in real life. His performances carried wisdom and warmth. In interviews, he said that acting those roles didn't require imagination. They came from his own experiences. I've been a student, a fighter, a clown, a teacher, he said. Now I just play myself. He often ended his speeches with the same message. Never give up. Learn one thing every day. Help one person every day. Smile one more time every day. For him, happiness was built in small, consistent moments of effort. Around the world, people learning English use his quotes as motivation. They repeated his words. Don't be shy. Speak. Move. Learn. And found courage to start conversations, chase goals, or dream bigger. Jackie had become not just an international film icon, but a symbol of hope for those who believed effort could transform lives. Even as his hair turned gray, his spirit stayed bright. He often laughed, "My body gets old, but my heart stays young. Maybe I can't jump like before, but I can still lift others up." As Jackie Chan entered his 70s, he reflected on a life full of adventure, challenge, and learning. From the streets of Hong Kong to Hollywood stages, from a strict opera school to international award ceremonies, his journey had been extraordinary. Yet Jackie never saw it as extraordinary for himself. It was a story of persistence, courage, and curiosity. He often spoke about his early struggles, learning English, enduring harsh training, facing repeated failures in the film industry. All my life, he said, I have fallen, failed, and been scared. But each time I got up, I learned something new. This philosophy became central not only to his movies, but to his speeches and books, inspiring millions worldwide. Jackie encouraged learners to embrace mistakes. When you speak English, you will make errors. That is good. Each mistake is a step forward. Don't hide. Don't stop. Speak. Listen. Repeat. Every day a little better. He believed that language was more than words. It was a bridge to understanding, friendship, and opportunity. Through English, he connected with fans, directors, and students in ways he could not have imagined as a child in Hong Kong. Even in his later films, Jackie maintained his unique style. While he performed fewer extreme stunts, his movements remained precise, his timing perfect, and his humor present. In roles like Kung Fu Yoga and Bleeding Steel, he combined action with storytelling, showing that creativity and heart could transcend age. He proved that mastery wasn't about youth, but dedication and passion. Off-screen, Jackie devoted himself to mentoring. He trained young actors in the Jackie Chan stunt team, sharing not only fighting techniques but lessons in discipline, teamwork, and respect. He reminded them that the camera sees truth, effort, sincerity, and heart. You can't fake courage, he told them. You must live it. Jackie's philanthropy expanded as well. He funded hospitals, schools, and disaster relief programs. He believed that success carried responsibility. If you have power, you must help, he said. Even small actions can change lives. His generosity made him a role model far beyond cinema. He also emphasized lifelong learning. Even after decades of fame, Jackie continued studying English, reading, and exploring new skills. If you stop learning, you stop living, he said. His curiosity remained boundless, from martial arts history to modern film technology. Every day was an opportunity to grow, teach, and connect. Jackie's story became a universal lesson. Resilience, humor, humility, and persistence can overcome any challenge. He showed that failures are temporary, but determination leaves a lasting mark. Through films, speeches, and personal example, he taught that success is not measured by wealth or fame, but by courage, kindness, and the willingness to rise after every fall. For learners of English and life alike, Jackie's journey offered hope. He proved that with patience, practice, and joy, obstacles can be turned into achievements, fears into lessons, and mistakes into progress. Even today, when Jackie smiles and speaks in his slightly accented English, the world listens. Because in every word, every laugh, every carefully choreographed move, there's a message. Keep moving, keep learning, keep rising. Your story is still being written. just like his. Jackie Chan's life reminds us that no matter where we begin, persistence, heart, and a touch of humor can make us heroes in our own story. Every fall is a lesson. Every word learned is a victory. And every day lived with courage is a step toward greatness. And so, Jackie Chan's journey teaches us that success is not about never falling, but about rising every time we do. His life reminds us that hard work, courage, and a joyful heart can turn dreams into reality. Whether it's learning a new language, pursuing a goal, or facing life's challenges, his story shows that persistence and positivity make all the difference. Let Jackie's example inspire you to keep moving forward, to laugh through difficulties, and to never stop learning. The story doesn't end here. It continues in every step you take toward your own dreams.